so, definitely more so now than ever before. This is the brother Zion Amar from the GMS, the Trip by Camp. And this is going to be a quick lesson, all right, regarding you know what, or you should know what, all right, which is the MOTB, all right. And the MOTB is the micro, all right, C-hip and the brain C-hip, all right, that you will have to make a decision about. There's no way to avoid it. There's no way of getting around it, all right. This thing is going to be everywhere, okay? And you got this guy that's just basically going in, you know, into that, where, all right, when this moment happens, you're going to literally have to make a life decision, all right? And most women, they're going to fail the test, all right, for the sake of their family, for the sake of themselves and their children, ultimately, all right? When they think they're doing a so-called good thing or a noble thing, right? That's going to be their demise. That's going to be the thing that gets them destroyed, all right? Because the Heavenly Father said, make no cuttings in the flesh, all right? So if you receive this device, you're going to have to receive a cutting in the flesh, all right? And once you do that, once you have this tech within, you know, your body, you're not a human anymore, all right? And this is why the Heavenly Father, he won't be able to do nothing with you. You're not one of his, right? You taking that MOTB shows, all right, what you trust and believe in, you see. And quite frankly, that's going to be the so-called white man, because he's the one that's behind, all right, pushing this digital all right. This is his tech, his system, all right. So you making that decision to take it shows that you pledge allegiance, all right, basically to this system, to Rome 2.0. All right, so I'm gonna just play this clip right quick, just to, you know, give some more context.
Accept the mark of the beast, and here's why. What's going to happen when you can't buy food for your starving child, baby, or you can't buy medicine for your dying baby, or you see them about to off your child or baby? You're going to have to make a very swift decision. And guess what? Most mothers are that connected with their child. And so during those days, there's going to be many. They're not going to let their baby pass away from starvation. They're not going to let their baby pass away from, but in order to get those things, you have to accept the mark. And so what will end up happening is their baby won't obviously accept it, because a baby can't consent to the mark, but they will. And so what will end up happening is they will sacrifice their eternity for their baby who's going to be with Jesus in eternity, all because of the moment of not understanding the implications of it all. And so woe to nursing mothers in this particular time period, and woe to parents in general who are, and it is a slippery slope, right? Because there is a such thing as idolizing your kids, but there is also a such thing as like, man, like you want to protect them with all your heart. And so that's where the deception will come in, right? Is where he's going to use the things you love and care about the most to capture your eternity. And so you can be with him in the lake of fire. And so this is a urgent message to those who, listen, remember when Abraham was taking his son up to sacrifice him, God replaced his son Isaac with a ram. Okay? And so in the same breath, have that same faith. But either way, God sent his son to die on the cross for all of us. Okay? And so in that same way, you have to be willing during this time period to sacrifice. Parents and mothers out there, you're going to have to be willing to sacrifice. It'll be the hardest thing in the world, but I'm telling you, that's how so many moms, so many parents are going to find themselves losing eternity. Many mothers will
If you don't make it on this side, you know, you'll be back in the kingdom, right? Through the 1/3, right? Through the righteous, through the hopeful elect. All right, the 144,000. Like you'll come back through them, you know, to serve or to live or to be immortal, you know. But it's gonna come with some shame. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be able to. What is I'm trying to say? You're not gonna be able to experience right the first dominion, those first 1,000 years, all right, where the Israelites will be ruling, right, in righteousness, all right, and basically be on top. You know, you're not gonna be able to experience that firsthand. You know. But anyway, we're doing it all for that. You know, we're sacrificing, all right, you know, on this side to obtain the kingdom of heaven, all right, to be part of the, you know, the elect, all right, because that's all it's about. You have Israel, all right, and then you have the Israel of the Most High, which is the elect, all right, that small remnant. I see a lot of people, they're going to basically choose life, you know. Let's see, let me get this so I don't push it up. Bear with me one moment. This is Matthew, all right, 10 and 28. It says, "And fear not them which kill the body." All right, because see, if you don't get this MOTB, whether they kill you right there in that moment, or you die of starvation, either way, them cutting off your access to food by not getting this MOTB is the so-called white man killing you. All right, taking food from you is akin to killing you. You know, it's a slow death, which is agonizing, painful, and you know, and it's a lot. You know, you wouldn't want to go through that, right? With your body just pining away. You see, but it says, you know, it says, "But are not able to kill the soul." All right, so don't fear the so-called white man. All right, he can kill your body, but he can't do nothing with your soul. Why? Because the Heavenly Father is the one that's the Father of spirits. All right. So the hell with Esau. All right. You gotta be like what's that in the Maccabees? The Israelite woman and her 7 sons. All right. You gotta be willing, all right, to make that grand sacrifice. All right. You gotta put it all on the line. All right. That's what Jacob's trouble and everything is about. The Lord making it to where you have the only decision is to choose Him, all right, which is life and peace, or to choose death, all right, which is that MOTB, right? Everything else it ain't gonna matter at all right? All the things, all right, the party and the bull, you know, the BS, the trips and you know, your nice job or your nice house, like all that ain't gonna be nothing, all right? But let me finish this. It says, "But rather fear Him, the Heavenly Father, which is able to destroy both soul and body in hell," right? The Heavenly Father can have you go through it. You know what I'm saying? Where He'll literally make your life a living hell. You know? He is the one that He can kill you in this life, bring you in the next life, and have you like a vegetable. You know what I'm saying? Where you Stephen Hawkins, right? You had no control of your body. You know, you can't talk, you can't walk, you can't express yourself, right? The Lord can have you in that type of, you know, situation, right? But the scripture says it's a terrible thing, right, that to fall in the hands of the living power, you know? So you don't want that. So, hey, if death be the case, so be it, all right? Hey, in hindsight, hey, that's a reward, all right? Let me jump down. Let's see something. Let's see something. Let's see. 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 Let's side, guess what? That's a one-way ticket to a chariot. So, the water you have not sure, you know, if this devil, take, take your life away from you on this side. Real quick, it says this is 1 Thessalonians 4, and let's start at 14. It says, for if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will the Heavenly Father bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord should not prevent them which are asleep, meaning, in the grave passed on. It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout. Right? As that so-called UFOs, the chariots of the Most High. That's how Yahushua is going to make his grand entrance. All right? To where the world going to stop. For real. You know what I'm saying? They all hail the true king. Right? It says, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of Yahweh. It says, and the dead and Hamashiach shall rise first. So if you die on this side for denying, all right, the MOTB, so be it. You'll be the first one on the chariot. Right? And you get to be part of that first dominion, which is a beautiful thing. It says, it says, then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds, i.e. the chariots, right? Another term for the chariots of the Most High are clouds. It's just like clouds, all right? The chariots of the Most High, they can hover, they can cloak themselves, right? And they don't make a sound. You won't even know that they're there, you see? It says to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahweh. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. Right? This is the comfort. This is what is set up to give you, all right, peace of mind. This is Romans 15 and 4. It reads, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. Right? So everything that happened in the Old Testament, hell, as well as in these days, the New Testament as well, the Apocrypha included, or as it is a part of the original Bible, right, the 1611. Right, so if you don't have that, you don't have the whole Bible. If you don't have the Apocrypha, you don't have the whole Bible. And this is part of the reason why you may not understand the scriptures, because you're missing a very important piece of history, all right? But anyway, it says that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, might have hope, So reading the different events, circumstances that our forefathers went through, or the prophets went through, men of the Lord went through, those things are set up